Hello and welcome. This is a general reading for the collective of Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. This is your 2024 Love Tarot forecast. So we're going to be looking at something from 2023 that needs to be released. And then the rest of the spread is all looking forward for the year ahead. If you are here as a cross watcher, welcome. And you may feel the need to flip the energies around. In other words, it may speak more to your experience than it would about your person, but always in connection with them. So if that helps. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I do hope if you enjoy the reading, you'll consider joining us here regularly by, wait for it, subscribing below. That's how we get the word out to other people just like you who are searching for these messages and need to hear these messages. So that's how we all pay it forward as a collective. That's my ask for 2024. Let's subscribe. Okay, so I am pulling from Prairie Majesty Oracle to activate the reading. You're going to get a word for the year, a totem, and a thought to ponder. So a question to ask yourself and to explore for this year. We're also still in the energy of the full moon in Cancer. So I do hope that you've done some form of gratitude journaling or speaking your gratitude into existence, and also some releasing of anything from the deep below, those emotional wounds of 2023 that need to come up and out and be released so you don't carry that emotional baggage forward. All right, here we go. I like this. Virgo, your word for the year is nest. Your totem is a deer mouse. And the question to ponder is, would more tenderness help? Would more tenderness help? And by the way, that could be a question you're asking yourself about, your own levels of tenderness towards self and others, but it could also be about the tenderness you need and maybe haven't received. So keep that in mind. You're going to have a nesting year. I like it. Feels comforting to me, Virgo. And as a sister Virgo, I'm a Virgo sun. I kind of like the idea of, I'm going to zhuzh up my nest. So I've got some new furniture on my horizon. And converting a spare room into an office. So to me, that's a form of nesting, right? It qualifies. All right, my loves, I'm going to pull the spread, give you my general impression, and then we will get the details from the clarifiers. Here we go. All right. Oh, my goodness. Beautiful. So there's some communication that did not come in, or that... something that you either didn't initiate or wasn't reciprocated. That's the way it feels to me, the Eight of Wands. What you're releasing is any form of attachment to that, to the construct that some communication was either not initiated or wasn't reciprocated. 2024, the whole year, we're looking at heartache, heartbreak, likely from the past that has something to do with the lack of communication, leaving you with so much pain, but it doesn't feel like the year is about pain. Based on all the other cards, it feels like we're resolving it, possibly by some nesting and tenderness to self and seeking out the spaces and places where tenderness towards us might exist. Okay, something coming toward you is some reciprocity, is some generosity. It could be anyone, but I read for relationships. So this could bring in someone who understands that it's time for them to give. It's time for them to be more generous with you, with their time, with their energy, with their resources, with their spirit, with their love. And it kind of sort of balances out the scales. All right, because what you're exploring is your patience, your wisdom, the self-control and restraint of it all that's been necessary. So there's something here that maybe didn't come in as quickly as you wanted it to. So you're releasing that. And then in exploring temperance is kind of about understanding how everything comes into flow and balance. Eventually all energies reach stasis. And that takes time. So I'm kind of liking this as 1 foot on the ground, that's the earth, 1 foot in your feelings, in the water there, and kind of keeping those chalices in motion, right? As everything works itself out. Really beautiful. And an important lesson for you to learn in 2024 is about choosing the path, deciding what you really want, what's really important. In a world of possibilities, what do you want? And what path is likely to get you there? And then what do you personally need to set in motion so that it arrives, so that it manifests? So this is about paths and choices. And in your next highest timeline, 10 of Cups land, yes indeed. Happily ever afters are a thing, Virgo. I know you don't believe me. I've been telling you this for years, but they do. So it requires some release of things that didn't come to pass, or conversations that didn't happen or weren't responded to or reciprocated to let those 3 swords fall right out as somebody comes towards you with some balance of reciprocity, of the equal give and take dynamics in relationships. And you recognize, oh, this is how it feels to kind of come into that flow state. And now from that place, I choose the path that I want. Now, somebody came into the comments asking me from the Leo reading, what's the next, I don't understand next highest timeline. It is a quantum physics construct, so I'm just going to give you the down and dirty like I did for her. In the quantum field, we have, countless versions of ourselves existing in the multiverse at the same time. They are all accessible to us in an instant, okay? But it's about choice. First, it's about awakening to that reality. Then it's about healing. Got it? It's about healing the disappointments and, how we have let our own selves down. Part of what the nesting might be about as well. It's about the healing. And then it is about conscious self-awareness and making choices. And I gave this person a very dummied down, oversimplified version, right? When you choose love over anger or love over fear, you're choosing the higher timeline. When you choose compassion over judgment, you are choosing the higher timeline. And as you continue to consciously choose, right, it's all a matter of choice, you immediately become that new timeline. That becomes your present reality instead of a higher timeline. And you're existing in your next highest timeline with all the love and emotional completion and sense of joy and bliss that has eluded you this past year. But it is a choice. It is a path. It is a choice you have, and a path you have to walk. So I hope that explains. It's a very simplified version. I could talk about timelines forever. And for like, I could do a whole course on it, and there are courses out there. But for now, just so you understand, in your next highest timeline, all the happiness you seek is available for you. So choose it. Let's see what we get from the 8 of Wands. Yeah. You've been trying to manifest some form of communication or interaction or energetic exchange with this King of Pentacles person. And you haven't had, it's just been rejection after rejection. The emotional distance has possibly grown even wider. Lots of disappointment, disenchantment, disillusionment with it all because the manifestation hasn't occurred. So we release it. We release that. We've got some shifting to do and some choices to make. So let's look at the 3 of Swords for 2024. I think you're done with the heartache of this connection. I think if you are not yet, you will be. The Tower from the bottom of the deck feels to me like it's something that may play out behind the scenes. Like I don't feel here that the Tower has hit yet. And remember, the Tower isn't necessarily like your whole world falling apart. It's a paradigm shift. It's an awakening by a little bit of shock value. It gets your attention. It shows you what's not sustainable. And therefore, I see you being done with the heartache and walking away from something that you haven't been able to manifest any kind of reciprocity from. Okay? It's been one-sided. There's been no emotional like deep communication or connection. And I feel like you get that wake-up call. So something's going to occur in 2024 that's going to allow you to like finally part with that energetically. I'm not saying that you have to close the door to the future with this person or with any person. But what I'm saying is when you keep smacking into the wall, eventually you got to turn left or right, right? We're not robots that just hit the wall like, and keep trying to move through it. We've got to find another path. And I feel that's what 2024 is about for many of you. So let's look at the Six of Pentacles coming toward you. So see, what you're being asked to release, you're never being asked to release something unless something better is available to you. That is how the universe works and the divine works. There is potentially a divine masculine energy who understands, and I do feel it's a person, understands the concept of equal give and take. And how blessed they are to be the recipient of your gifts of generosity, and they want nothing more than to give that in return. There you are, Virgo. Single and ready to mingle. Interesting. Seven of Swords underneath. This is something that I feel redeems your trust in people's intentions, becomes re-established. I'm not using the right word. It was just in my head. But it's like it revives. Your trust in people's intentions is revived. The Seven of Swords isn't always about something very negative. Sevens are spiritual numbers, so there's that. But there's also something with the Seven of Swords that feels like you kind of get to escape the wounds of the past, the hurts of the past. It's almost like that, because this feels, again, like it's in your unconscious awareness. I've been played, I've been lied to, people have said over and over that they wanted a relationship and then they just didn't give and it was very one-sided and I did all the work and the heavy lifting. So this is kind of residing in your unconscious awareness, in your psyche, so to speak. But I feel you're proven wrong. I feel like your trust in someone's intentions is restored, revived. Because they show you in their actions, instead of just empty words, they show you what they have to give and they give it freely. So now temperance is what you need to explore in 2024. This is what's coming towards you. What you need to explore. Ooh. This is about moving on. Wow. Yeah, because I see what's coming up. I know this is about moving on. Chariot underneath, right? Moving on from the disappointment, the mistakes of the past, the regrets of the past, what you feel has been lost to you by someone who was not emotionally available. And you get there by virtue of understanding that it's all, all of time is passing through, and yet everything's available to us at the same time. So that's what I meant when I said higher timelines. There's this, I don't need to act in haste. I have something good coming to me. I receive it. I reciprocate. There's no push. There's just beautiful balance, some healing when we see the temperance, and it's of the higher mind. There's a higher perspective when we see temperance over what you perceived was a loss because of a lack of emotional availability for whoever it is that has left you really feeling despondent almost. That's what's coming through that Four of Cups, despair. I feel like you release it and you move on. That's what you'll be exploring. Now, you don't do it impulsively. Part of temperance is, like I said, self-control and restraint. But it's something that you're contemplating throughout the year. Two of Wands in what an important lesson you're learning in 2024. Oh my God. Yeah, if you want life partnership, if you want a relationship that goes the distance, if you want to build a life with someone, it is a life path choice. You must choose it, and then you must act as if. Lover's card, card of choice, card of the union of souls, reunion for some, and that is possible, but regardless, the path to, and the Lovers, all of these cards are cards of choice. And since we've got the Ten of Pentacles, it's looking toward the future. What do you want for your future when it comes to a sacred soul bond, to a soulmate or a soul connection? Well, you want the happily ever after. It's available to you right now. So in 2024, it's about making choices from that mindset and not falling prey to your suspicions of people's intentions, because you're not going where you've just come from. You're moving ahead. You're releasing that pain, that Three of Swords. You're getting that wake-up call like, oh, there's something better for me. And what this is not sustainable. Okay? And it hasn't yielded the feelings that I desire to feel because of what I have to offer. So this Ten of Cups is pretty powerful. It's telling me that 2024 is going to be a huge year of almost like an emotional shift. Queen of Swords, but you'll be practical about it. Yeah, a big year of growth, change, transformation, but something has to be left on the cutting room floor. The old you. I absolutely feel the new you is clear-eyed, clear of thought, purpose, intentions, coming in peace, truth seeker, truth teller, right? Like nothing to hide. I want this happiness, and now I see my path to it. Now I understand what Laura's telling me. I have to choose. You got the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Two best tens in the deck. It's about choice. It's about choice. And sometimes we have to choose to leave things behind. Aspects of ourselves, behavior patterns of ourselves, thought patterns that we've accumulated along the way has to be released. The Death card is a card of release, letting something go that doesn't serve you anymore as you ascend into your next highest timeline from all this. I see this so clearly now. Like, how could I not have seen this before? Is almost the energy coming in. And it isn't going to happen immediately. This looks like it's going to unfold in stages. But you're going to know it. You're going to know it the minute you have to make that first choice. You're going to be like, oh, I got to go back and watch that reading. That's exactly what I'm feeling right now. I now see clearly what isn't sustainable, and that it's based on my own choices. What I want for me. Because I already know what I have to give somebody else. So that's where our jumping off point is our sense of worth and value. Nine of Pentacles sees all that in a bag of chips, and somebody's going to see that in you, and you're going to learn that you have to not distrust intentions based on past experience, because you're choosing differently now, so different people will appear. I have really exhausted this reading, but it really felt important. The messages are very crystal clear to me. So let me give you the astrology. We have Virgo and Gemini in the Magician, which is Mercury. Taurus in our King of Pentacles. We've got Mars here in the Tower, which corresponds with the sign of Aries. And we've got Aries in the Emperor. Virgo again in our Nine of Pentacles. Temperance is Sagittarius, which I think Sagittarius, the ninth house, figures prominently in 2024 for Virgo sun signs, just FYI. King of Cups is Scorpio. Cancerian energy in the Chariot. Gemini in the Lovers. Queen of Swords is Libra. And we end here with the Death card is Scorpio. Out with the old, in with the new year, new you, new life, new relationship, new. That's what I have. Now, I'm going to take this to the extended and do your romance reading. And I'm going to pull 2 spreads and we'll clarify the one that forecasts for a positive. Meaning I'm looking at if somebody's coming back from the past in 2024. And I'm looking for the forecast if somebody new is on your path in 2024. Looks like there could be someone new. All right, so we're going to check that out. The link is in the first sentence of the description box below. I will see you there. All blessings for a beautiful new year. Bye for now.